egg hit his face before he saw it coming. Yellow yolk dripped down Chidi Okonwo's cheek. Camera flashes exploded like thunder. The crowd pressed closer, screaming, recording, hungry. Is it true, Chidi? Did you abandon that girl? What about the baby? His world was ending, live on camera, in front of all Nigeria. And the worst part, he had no idea who she was. But to understand how Nigeria's most hated actor ended up here, covered in egg and shame, we need to go back 3 months, to the secret life nobody knew about. Every Thursday evening, when Lagos traffic finally cleared and the sun dropped behind the poor neighborhoods of Ajegunle, Chidi Okonwo became a different man. The change happened in his car. First, the Gucci loafers came off, then the designer shirt, the one that cost 85,000 naira. He pulled on faded jeans and a plain black t-shirt from his university days. The fabric was so soft from washing, it had holes at the edges. He looked in the mirror. The famous face was still there. The face that made women weak. The face that blogs called Nigeria's sexiest villain. But something in his eyes changed. The coldness melted. The pride disappeared. By the time he parked outside Renewal Hope Church, it wasn't Chidi Okonwo, the actor. It was Brother Chidi, the quiet man who helped Pastor Adeyemi arrange plastic chairs. Brother Chidi! Pastor Adeyemi's round face broke into a smile. You are early today, oh. I left the estate by 5, Chidi said, stacking chairs with quick practice movements. Couldn't risk being late. Sister Ngozi will not spare me. Right on cue, an elderly woman's voice rang out. And she will not spare you, a big man like you, hiding like a thief in the night. Sister Ngozi appeared from the kitchen. She balanced a tray of chin-chin and granite for after service. She had known Chidi since he was nobody. Since he was sleeping on his friend's couch in Surulere, attending 5 a.m. prayers and believing God would answer. Sister Ngozi, we've talked about this, Chidi said gently. If people know I come here, they will see who you really are, she interrupted. Not that monster they think you are. Chidi smiled. Sad, tired. Some secrets protect everyone, ma. Not just me. What Sister Ngozi didn't understand was that Chidi had made peace with his double life. In daylight Lagos, he was the villain, the housebreaker, the user, the man mothers warned their daughters about. Just last month, he had played a character who used his pregnant girlfriend for blood money rituals. The film broke every box office record. The 8 messages broke records too. His Instagram comments were a mess. You deserve to die alone. No man should ever trust you. You carry evil spirits. But here in the church where paint spilled from the walls and the offering basket was never full, he could breathe. Here, nobody cared that he drove a Range Rover. Nobody asked for selfies. Nobody called him evil. Here, it was just Chidi. That night, Pastor Adeyemi asked him to lead the youth group discussion. 12 young people sat in a small room with one standing fan that made noise like an old man breathing. Brother Chidi will talk to us about integrity, the pastor announced. The irony hit hard. Chidi, who all of Nigeria believed was corrupt, talking about integrity. But these kids looked at him with respect, with love. Integrity, Chidi began, is not about what people see. It's about what God sees. It's about the choices you make when cameras are off, when the crowd goes home, when nobody is watching. A boy named Tunde raised his hand. He was 15 years old, skinny, with eyes too wise for his age. Brother Chidi, what if people think you are something you are not? What if their opinion is wrong? Chidi's throat tightened. He swallowed hard. Then you hold on to truth today. You hold it tight. You trust that God sees. You trust that the people who really know you will stand by you. and you keep doing right even when it costs you everything. He didn't know how much those words would cost. Not yet. The next morning, Chidi scrolled through his phone while his makeup artist prepared him for a magazine shoot. New comments, always new comments. At Niger Queen 234. This man is a cost to women. He will die alone. At Truth Speaker _9. Every role he plays is who he is in real life. Evil. Hey. At Lagos Babe. I had a dream about him. He is in covenant with darkness. His manager Kelechi snatched the phone. Stop reading that rubbish. They think they know me, Chidi said quietly. They don't need to know you. Kelechi replied. They need to buy cinema tickets. Let them hate you Monday to Wednesday. Just make sure they are in cinemas by Friday. But Chidi's younger sister Adaeze didn't see it that way. She called him that afternoon crying. Chidi, they are attacking Mama now. They are saying she raised a demon. She can't even go to market without people pointing. His chest tightened. Ada, I'll handle it. How? How will you handle it? This is our family name. He had no answer. Because the truth was, he had signed up for this. He had chosen to play villains because the money was good. Because he was excellent at it. Because nice guys in Nollywood made half the salary. But his family, they didn't sign up for anything. 2 weeks later, Chidi stood at a movie premiere in Abuja. Lights, camera, red carpet. Politicians and their wives in expensive agbada and rapper sets. His newest film, Poison Heart, was premiering. He played a man who married a woman for her father's wealth, then poisoned her slowly. Critics were already calling it his best villainous performance yet. He smiled for cameras, signed autographs, posed with fans who insulted him online but wanted pictures in person. Then he saw her. A young woman, maybe 22, pretty, trembling, moving through the crowd towards him. Something felt wrong. Her eyes were too bright, too determined. Security started moving, but she was fast. She dropped to her knees in front of him, in front of every camera, every phone, every eye. Chidi! She screamed. Chidi, please. Don't abandon our baby like you abandoned me. The crowd gasped. Phones lifted. Flashbulbs exploded. Chidi froze. His brain couldn't process. I don't know you. You used me, she sobbed, clutching at his legs. You said you loved me. You promised. Now I'm pregnant and you won't answer my calls. Security! Kelechi shouted, but it was too late. The damage was instant, viral, destructive. By the time Chidi reached his hotel room, his phone was on fire. #Chidi must fall was trending #1 in Nigeria. The blogs were already writing headlines. Nollywood's villain exposed. Chidi Okonwa's secret love child. Just like his movies, actor abandons pregnant girlfriend. The mask falls. Nigeria's heartthrob is a real-life monster. Kelechi paced the hotel room like a trapped animal. We need to respond. We need a statement. We need... I don't know her. Chidi's voice cracked. Kelechi, I've never seen that girl in my life. It doesn't matter. Kelechi exploded. Don't you understand? The internet has already decided. 3 brands dropped you in the last hour. The producer of Lagos Dreams just called. They are replacing you. Chidi sank onto the bed. His hands shook. His phone rang. Adaeze. Chidi, they are at Mama's house. Reporters. They are banging on the gate. Mama is crying. She's asking if it's true. Is it true, Chidi? Did you get someone pregnant? No, he whispered. Ada, I swear to God, no. Then who is she? How does she know things about you? That was the question that terrified him, because somehow This girl knew things. The blogs were reporting details, personal details. She knew about the scar on his shoulder from a childhood fall. She knew his mother's maiden name. She knew he drank his coffee with too much sugar. How? By Thursday, Chidi was hiding. His career was in ruins. His family was under attack. His name was Poison. He almost didn't go to church. What was the point? But at 6:45 p.m., muscle memory took over. He drove to Ajegunle, hood low, different car, hands shaking on the steering wheel. When he walked into Renewal Hope Church, he expected emptiness. Instead, the room was packed. And when they saw him, the entire congregation stood, not in judgment, in support. Our brother needs us tonight. Pastor Adeyemi's voice shook with emotion. The devil is a liar. We know this man. We know his heart. We know his service. And we will not abandon him. One by one, they came forward. Brother Emeka, whose children's school fees Chidi had paid quietly for 2 years. Sister Blessing, whose hospital bills Chidi had settled when she had no one. Tunde at the youth group, wearing hand-printed shirts. We know the real Chidi. Chidi broke. He wept like a child, on his knees in that small church, surrounded by people who had nothing but gave him everything. You don't have to do this, he sobbed. You don't have to stand with me. It will cost you. Family doesn't abandon family, Pastor Adeyemi said firmly. And Brother Chidi, let me tell you something about truth. He placed his hands on Chidi's shoulder. Truth is like pregnancy. You can hide it for a while, but eventually it will show. We stand with truth. We stand with you. That night, the church didn't just pray. They planned. Sister Ngozi promised to ask questions at the law firm where she cleaned offices. Brother Emeka, who drove for a media house, would listen for information. The youth group launched their own campaign, #Who is the real Chidi? It was small, probably hopeless, but it was love in action. As Chidi drove home that night, Kelechi called. I have bad news. His manager said, that girl, Clarissa. She gave 3 interviews today. She's everywhere. She knows Chidi. She knows things only someone close to you would know. How? How is that possible? I don't know, but Chidi, Kelechi paused. Silverbird just cancelled your premiere. They're pulling all your films from cinemas. It's over. Your career is over. Chidi pulled over, sat in darkness. His phone buzzed. An email from an unknown address. He opened it. It was a video file. He pressed play. The girl, Clarissa, was on screen in what looked like an expensive apartment, but she wasn't alone. A man's voice spoke from off camera. A voice Chidi recognized immediately. Emma Onwusu, the producer he had refused to work with 2 years ago. The man who had threatened him. The man who ran Nollywood like a criminal. Remember, Emma's voice said, cry like your life depends on it. Remember, Emma's voice said, cry like your life depends on it. Because his career certainly does. Clarissa nodded, practicing a sob. Good. Emma continued. By the time we are done, Chidi Okonwo will wish he had never crossed me. The video ended. Chidi sat in his car, hands shaking, heart pounding.